Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and a new video on the full fat Discovery 5. It is an absolute monster and this is genuinely me standing up behind it. It really is a very, very big car. Just before we move on, if you haven't seen part 1 or part 2 to this build, there'll be a link for it up here somewhere. Chris will put it up there somewhere. And also, if you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. It's completely free of charge and we would really, really appreciate it. So in the last couple of videos, if you have watched this, it turned up and it was in a bit of a mess. Let's just include a little picture, reminder of what it did look like. So as you can see from that picture, it was hit quite high up at the front. It was all leaning over. It looked an absolute mess. But I think we made quite short work of it in the last 2 videos where we've actually got it to this stage. Like I say, there is still a lot to do on this one. So today we're just going to continue on and crack straight on with it. Straight into it here, front bumper removed. Luckily we didn't stick all the bolts in it, so quite straightforward. Then you've got your wiring loom in there, your parking sensors, a few other little trims and clips that you can remove, a couple of bits that are going to have to stay. But apart from that, straight on, get the headlight off, then we can move on to get that front wing off. Got to remove the little trim out the side of the wing, the little windshield I would say, and then give it a good wipe over, make sure there's nothing on it, and then wait for me to get back to get the bonnet off. So while Chris is taking that apart, I've popped over to pick up the little Fiat 500 from Luke, and it looks like he's made a very, very nice job of that. Mirror caps white, as we said, in there, and the toe and eye cap, and we've got the body moulding in there off of the door as well. He must have put the other mirror cap on. He has. How good does that look? Doesn't it look better? Let's get it loaded on the back of the truck and get back to the yard. So busy there, and he's got it all done. Land Rover badge is removed off the bonnet. The bumper is completely stripped. Shame actually, these are melted in, which is an absolute nightmare. So they're going to have to be masked up. The wings there all stripped down, and I'm now going to go and drop those off to JW Smarts and have those painted. We've got to put the car down for some paint work as well once they're back. But Chris has already made a start. As soon as I pulled up with the little Fiat on the back, he's done the headlight lug repairs. Someone's going to say they wish they saw this now, but these are, I would say, my original days. I used to buy these, and these headlight lug repair kits were one of the first people that actually did it, and they're £4.99 a set. They're actually up to 15 quid a set now. Yeah. And you can see though, they do fit fantastic, and Chris has just changed all 3 of those. So I'm going to go and drop these bits off for paint and try and fit that in the back of a Berlingo. It's going to be tight, but it's going to go. We're going to get these in the van, and Chris is going to crack on and get that headlight fitted, because I know he wants to get that car to her. Let's do it. So straight in the workshop, up on the ramp. I know he's desperate to get this one done. Headlight lugs repaired. Get the headlight in there. Daytime running lights fit in the front bumper. Get the front bumper fitted on there. Then you've got a passenger wheel arch liner. And a good service to do on this one, but making short work of it. We sped it right up, but we are getting there with this one. I promise this is not going to turn into a Fiat 500 video, but Chris has got the car in and cracked on with it, and it is all back together. But just as soon as I walked in, we noticed the discs. I mean, they don't look too sad there, but when you go to the inside, look at the state of them. I mean, the pad's missing half of it, and up there you can see it's terrible. And I've just rung up to get a price, and we're not going Brembo, but £11.22 each for a brake disc. I'm going to whip round. I need to get a service kit for it anyway and get a brand new set of discs and pads for it. Putting this one off for the last couple of days, getting all these other little jobs done in the meantime, but we do need to get on and get this one done. That is the new dashboard there for the Land Rover Discovery. As you can see in the last video, I actually cut these out, didn't I? And that dashboard is blown. I'm not going to get it out now. I've done such a good job of pushing that in. But you can see, I've bought the airbag in here just to see where the clips are. I've not done one before. There is so much to remove. You've got a glove box there. You've got a glove box up there. All of this needs to come out. All of these vents need to come out. The screen, the heaters, everything, and including that centre console. The centre console I'm not 100% sure about, but I have previously made a mistake. Like on the M4, I did it around the centre console and left it in, and it actually created a bit more work for me. But what I am going to say is, look how thin that dash is. It is only a half dash. So am I going to get away with it? Am I going to do it again? Am I going to give it a go at fitting this dash without taking that centre console out? All of the fixings, I've actually been round and looked, and you can see where this one is fixed in, and that is always handy, of course. I always say, have a good look at your dash before you're about to fit it. And of course, here you can see you've got your bolt hole here and a bolt hole here, and if I flip it up, you can clearly see those holes. Just in there, one in there, and one there. And it doesn't look like there's actually any bolts underneath that speaker cover. I've taken that off. This loom in particular is actually going to stay in the actual dashboard itself. And you can see it runs up and clips there. And there's also a passenger airbag loom that runs up and clips there. So that's going to stay. We've moved the car as far forward as we can, opened all of the windows, opened the sunroof just to give us a load of light. I'm going to leave the battery connected just until I've worked out how to get that driver's airbag out, because you've got an electric column that I can go up and down with. So, wish me luck. This is the first one of these we've ever done. I'm sure we will get there. Let's do it. So straight onto the inside, and when I say I've never seen so many little torques to get undone here, they are literally overkill. They are everywhere. I should really count them up when I'm finished, but I would say that there's definitely in excess of 60 to 70 to undo. So far from done, but I did just want to point out the bit I mentioned in the time lapse. I think actually the torch is just, that's fine. So I've just obviously removed the binnacle, the heater blower this side, the stop start button from that side. I'm just going to move on to the lower part of the dash here. It all needs to come out the way. And you can see all the fixings that are holding the dashboard in. And these 10mm bolts are actually holding it in. And I'm just looking at them. You can have a look at a bolt and you know if it's ever been in or out before. Now them bolts have not been out. This car has not had a dashboard in it. But how do you explain that? The other side is perfect. It's tight. But have they missed that in the factory? Or has somebody had this apart before? But the thing is, that doesn't look like it's ever been undone. And you would need to undo that and undo that to get this down out the way. So put it in the comments. What's happened there? Have they just forgot to tighten that one up? It literally looks like it's just been pushed in the hole and not been turned at all. Like literally one turn just to hold it. So I'm going to continue on. There's lots and lots to strip out, and it's all going to be pretty repetitive, same thing. But moving on to the screen here, again, I haven't taken one out, but you can see that little screw I've taken out there, and that is actually releasing that. So I should be able to pull that and just pull it out. A lot of things, see the little slots? They're actually just slotted in. So this part had a slot on that, and there, and it all slotted in together as one piece. So I'm just going to carry on. I've left the stop start button up on top of the dashboard just in case for any reason I need to put the battery on, turn the ignition on. We've got that there so that we can plug it in, but let's just continue on. And undoing more of those torques, of course, there's plenty of them. There is a load of little 10mm behind here. I actually holding the dashboard to the metal framework of the vehicle, the dash backing, should I say. They're all 10mm, and a couple of 10s right up there behind that speaker cover I just had to get out. So in there, I just decided I'm actually going to remove that squib and the stalks. It was just two little 7mm. I could get that out. And then moving on to that upper dash, I've removed the lower dash, which was a couple of star drives and two 10mm at the bottom. The upper one actually looks like I've got to take, well, I have got to take all these covers off first, remove that screen, and then there's a couple of star drives just behind it, and that will come out. Unscary plenty of times, haven't we? But look at that. Honestly, there's so many screws and clips to get this dashboard out. But it is 10 past 11. And I didn't start this till 10. So about an hour and 10 minutes. And we've got to this stage. Like I said, I've not done one of these before. But I've just been round. and I'm not taking them out, but you can see I've wound them all out just a little bit, and I just need to know what else I need to move. But look, that dash is on the move, but as you can see by rocking it, this piece has got to come out first. This black surround, and it's not actually in the other dash. I can see it's not, so we need to remove this piece of plastic, and I reckon that is going to be it. I'm not going to say it, I'm going to say it after, but the man I bought the dashboard off said something to me, and I'm not going to repeat that until we get this one out and get that one in. I'm going to crack on and get the rest of that done without time-lapsing it, and we'll see how we get on. But so far, so good. And a lot of wires, and a lot of screws, and a lot of clips. Let's carry on. Fingers crossed. I've took a lot of pictures. Chris took quite a few while I was out, because he's undone a couple of bits. So fingers crossed, we should be all right. Let's give it a go.
Yeah, I think so, mate.
Yeah, lovely. That is it, mate. It's out.
That's it.
Straight in with that new one.
Probably
Show it.
Yeah. It's quite interesting, isn't it?
Very interesting. I did show earlier how scary it looks. Now you can see what we did with that centre section. Folded that over.
Cast aluminium.
Yeah. Well, normally they're metal, aren't they? And they're always rusty, and people say, why is that so rusty? But yeah, that is, it's definitely, I've never had to undo this much stuff on a car before, but I think why it's, again, fresh on our memory, straight in with a new one. And let's just leave that there for a minute. Yeah. But you're going to have to get the whole thing, aren't you? And pass it over to me.
Yeah, that's it. Did we just want to double check heights and all that?
Checked everything is on there.
Nothing on that one?
No, it's all on there, look.
Yeah, we're good. Right, do you want to just put it in our pass it in? I already did in position.
Ready?
Yeah.
Didn't even get time there, didn't even think to put the microphones on, but we kind of get a gist of what we're doing.
Well, we didn't know if it was going to
come out or not.
No. Right?
Yeah. You see, you know the heater pipes? It's just those, you've got to make sure that they're, I think they're alright though.
Yeah, it looks alright there. Go in there,
Yeah, it's not really quite away. But mine, they'll just fall into place, no? Almost.
That's, yeah, just a down there. Do you want a lot?
Just might get up a little bit too high. Sorry, mate. We're in. Well, that is it. It's in there, it's sitting on its downs, ready to have all these little 10 mils done up. So let me just run round to that. It's got some nice dowels, so it went straight in and sat on them and clipped itself home. I can probably show you that one just
Before
there.
we put any of that in, we're
We're going to have to get that back in, yeah.
have to lift it
slightly.
and put that.
So a little bit of a pain there that was to get that out, and let's continue on and get this built back up while we still remember. So now we've got it in, Chris is in here giving me an hand, just locating everything and then lifting up. Why he can look at the phone, I can look at the pictures. We lift the dash up, get that centre section slotted in there, and then we'll pull all the wires through exactly where they was in the pictures we took. And then once he's helped me do that, I can crack on and start piecing it all back together, putting everything in. So like I said, progress. we have made some progress. Now, some stuff I'm not going to be able to put back on just down the sides of the dash, and that is because I've got the centre console loose to get to that module, which is just underneath here. I've managed to spot it. Driver's airbag is just sitting on there. I've just put all the wires in it. So that is now all fitted. Well, it is now. Needs a bit of a wipe over, but all the dash is back in. What I will do now before I move on, actually let me cut there and then I'll show you. Where was I? I actually had the battery disconnected. I've connected it up and you can see we've got lights, but the most important thing, well, it starts up. That's a good sign. The screens come on. The heaters are on, full whack, they're working. Let's turn them off. Front bumper's not connected, so I'm not surprised that they're not working. It's not hit maps, music. Yeah, everything's all working, and that is what I wanted to check. It's very, very important. I mean, I haven't unplugged any of this yet, but it's very, very important that all of this is checked before you start buttoning things up and doing things up, and you're not going to undo them again, because otherwise you've got to strip it all out and you're back to square one. So I think, look, you can see where I've left that panel off, and I've actually got it on top of the dash there. And I did look earlier. Let's get that torch and I'll show you guys. If we actually turn that torch on and point it in there. So those plugs that you can see just there is actually the airbag module. So we do need to slide that console back a little bit further, and then I can get my hands in there and actually unbolt that. But we'll probably find there's going to be a main harness for that, and actually move it all the way back and get that out and get it sent off, get it reset. But yeah, really coming along, and I didn't want to time lapse too much more of it. All these little trims, they're very awkward to put on, and the reason they're awkward to put on is because when they come off with the metal clips attached to the actual part. Now, to get this, is actually a spare, isn't it? It's from the other side. So what you have to do is actually pull these clips off, which again are quite tight, stick them in the holes, and then stick the actual part on. So a little bit awkward to do, but we got there with it in the end. Right, I'm going to carry on, I think. Let's have a look around the other side. Now we've got 6 seat belts to do, and it's like a guitar string, that one. Yeah, around this side, I guess I can tidy all this up, get this all bolted up, get that under tray with the light back on there. All of that can go on, can't it? Less and less and less bits, so running out of parts for it now. So making very light work of this passenger side front seat belt. I've gone out to do something or other on the little Fiat, maybe an MOT, while Chris is fitting these seat belts. So made light work of fitting that passenger seat belt, and I believe we're going to move straight onto the driver's side seat belt, and then of course we got the 4 back ones to do. Yep, onto the driver's seat belt. It's just under passenger one, so knows exactly where all the clips are, all the screws. Move straight on, get that done, and then in the back to the back 4 rather. Chris has managed to get both of those front seat belts in, and he's now moving on to the rear ones. Of course, there is 6 pre-tension seat belts in this one to actually change. I don't think the centre belt in this seat is actually an issue, so that's both front ones done. But to do the rear ones, obviously both seat belts are behind that one panel, so you can see he's got one over there he's just removed, and there's one just goes just here that he's just removed. So he's got the new ones there. He's going to get those fitted. That shows you a bit of a better angle. You can see it goes in there and then bolts down there, and then the back one again. If I just point there, you can pretty much see where it goes. So all quite self-explanatory. Chris is going to get those fitted, and I'm going to continue on doing what I'm doing. And I must remember to reach out to Tannar and get a new battery for this one, because that's actually off the crafter and we don't have a battery for it. So let's carry on, get them 2 done, move on to them 2, and we should be there with it. So we are there with it, with every seatbelt now plugged in. So that's all of the airbags that had gone off in this car. So 6 seat belts, passenger airbag and driver's airbag. There is no knee airbag. Now Launch sent us out this new computer. It's just initialising. And there is the model of it, if anyone was interested. Now, it is the first time I've ever used it. It is a wired machine. I've done a bit of research. It does look like a good bit of kit. What I'm actually going to do, I've been waiting right until we got to this stage. What I'd like to do is see if I can clear those airbag faults. You can see the lights on there and it's not going off. But I thought, before I start stripping out that centre console and actually going down the route of sending that off to like a reset place, I thought, why don't we see if we can clear them first on the computer? Because previously on a Volkswagen we was able to actually clear the module ourselves. These machines are right up to date. I've just registered this one, so it's got the latest software on it. Why not give it a go, and we'll see how good the computer is. What to allow diagnostic services access to. Yeah, let's confirm that. Right, vehicle 2018, Land Rover model, chassis number, diagnostic. Let's go diagnostic. Oh, it all looks quite self-explanatory. Nice big screen as well, a lot bigger than the other one. Hopefully you guys can see it. Shall I jump in? Should be able to see it a bit better then. What we got there, VIN number, that's all correct. I think you just don't matter where you stand, the glare of it is never going to be brilliant, is it? Health report, let's do that. Oh, that's a lot of faults. Body control module 20, chassis control module 1. That's a whole heap of faults there. That's quite nice actually, this computer, isn't it? Diagnostic tool, whatever you'd like to call it. HVAC control module 3. Image processing module 3. Do you know what though? I did turn the ignition on without all of that plugged in to get the steering column out. But let's let it finish what it's doing and then we'll have a look. Terrain module 1. Anti-lock brake system 2. BCM 20. And all of the others look alright. Oh, there's one there. Chassis control. Driver's door module. Driver's rear door module, gateway module, HVAC control module. There's a lot. There's actually a lot there, isn't there? I wanted to see if airbags, parking assistance, that's not going to work, so bumper's not in. Power steering, engine control. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit it, clear DTCs, and just let all of the faults clear. And then once we get it all back together, we'll do a full read. But I want to know if that clears the airbag fault or not. So what we got come back, body control module 4, image processing 1, telematics control 1, restraint control module 1, passenger front seat module. Oh, that light hasn't gone out though. It's gone out. Is it going to come back? Yeah, it's come back on. Right. Time to go back in and do another scan on it, because clearly that never cleared it, but it's nice to know, and it was definitely worth trying. But I'm going to go through all of these now because these ones have gone and they've all come back. I'm going to have a look what has come back. Left headlamp, that's missing. Low beam, that's missing. Centre configuration, central configuration. Right, I don't think we've got to worry about them. I think that's headlight. Image processing, what we got there. We got front left camera, well that's unplugged. Telematrix, we've got speaker, 1 circuit, open circuit. That is actually unplugged still, that's in the back. Restraint control module, crash event stored, full and locked. No subtype information. We have got to take that module out and send it off to be done. Let's turn that off because that's annoying. So that's a bit of a shame, but you don't know, do you, until you actually have a look. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It has cleared most of them. Good little computer off a diagnostic tool, whatever you'd like to call it. There is a link for it in the description down below, and I believe there is also a discount code, an eBay discount code. So if you want one of those, or you want to check it out and do a bit more research on it, there's a link in the description. So even though the video's finished, you can see Chris is still plugging away in the background there, just tightening a few loose ends up. So I did say in the video, I'll tell you later what the chap said that I actually bought the airbag kit off. And when I picked it up, I said, have you done many? And he said, I've done one. I said, are they all right to do? He said, it's going to take you 3 days. 3 days to change an airbag kit. And that is what I was worried about. And I got back and Chris said, no way. Well, it ain't going to take us 3 days. We'll get it done in a day. And we have got it done in a day. Guys, that is going to be the end of today's video. As usual, we do hope you did enjoy it. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it's Salvage Rebuilds. If you want to follow Chris on his one, it's Salvage Rebuilds Chris. Don't forget, if you've got a car you want to sell us, a damaged car, a car with something wrong, a barn find, if you know of a car for sale or for someone, you can email us, sales, SRUK, @gmail.com. Like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you all very, very soon in the next one.